Let's bring in Kyle Irving of Sporting News to go over it all. And Kyle, we definitely got our money's worth if we paid anything for that game last night. Wild shot at the end to tie, wild overtime as well. 260 points in the NBA. Can't ask for much more than that. Look, I'm a big fan of nostalgia and a big fan of these old series in the NBA where the finals used to be, 88, 85, something like that. But my gosh, that game last night had something for everyone.
Yeah, that was a far cry from, the rock fights of the 90s. Like you said, 200 and something points put up after the overtime period. But, I think those are two teams that the Pacers want to play fast. And at the beginning of that game, the Celtics were willing to match that pace. And I thought they did a good job of it at the start. But, they quickly realized you're going to have to come up with some stops if you want to win a game. And obviously, they pulled that game from the jaws of life. They had no business winning that game, down by 3 points with 8 seconds to go. And Jaylen Brown hits the biggest shot of the playoffs so far. But, I was really impressed with the way that they locked in on the defensive end down the home stretch of the fourth quarter and in overtime after really not playing any defense throughout the entire probably 46 minutes of that game. And that's a game that the 2022 Celtics probably don't win. The 2023 Celtics probably don't win. But the 2024 Celtics, they found a way to get it done. And I think that's what's impressive.
Yeah, no, it is. And the Celtics have been like this all season long. They just sort of, figure out a way to get it done even when it looks like they're not at their best. That's the maddening part, I guess, about them in the final last night. Now, as far as the series is concerned, most of the odds are favoring a 5-game series. In fact, that's where the line of demarcation is in terms of the totals, 5.5. Plus 250 is 4 games. The favorite right now, still plus odds at 5 games at 130. I mean, Kyle, I don't know. Something tells me that this is going more than 5, and maybe this game 6 or game 7 is the value there. I feel like Indiana is not getting enough credit. I think they've got a chance to win their home games. Do you feel like that or no?
I do agree with you. I actually think that, as disheartening as that loss is, and, you feel like if you're a Pacers fan or on the Pacers, you feel like you had that game stolen from you. You should have been up 1-0 in the series, stealing one in Boston. But at the same time, there's a lot of positives to take away from that because, they presented some serious mismatches for the Celtics on defense. Without Kristaps Porzingis in the lineup, they were able to exploit guys like Al Horford, able to exploit guys like Luke Cornett. And if Porzingis isn't going to be back until at least game 4, that gives the Pacers a little bit of a runway to continue to exploit those mismatches. And I know Joe Mazzulla made some adjustments, but it feels like they found something there in that high ball screen pick and roll, getting Tyrese Halliburton downhill. It really got Miles Turner going from the perimeter. And that's going to pose a threat to Boston, over the next couple of games until Porzingis can get back. So, I said Celtics in 6 at the beginning of the series because of Porzingis' uncertainty. I'm going to hold true to that, especially after the way the Pacers played last night. And I'm going to keep it at Celtics in 6.
Yeah, get a little bit more today, plus 350 over on FanDuel.